Today's topic, Jubilee, and the title is it ever too much makeup?
I'm passionate of makeup because it allowed me to showcase to the world at a very young age the woman that I always was.
A lot of people think just because I wear makeup, I'm really stuck up, and I feel...
It allowed me to show to the world the woman I really was. Is womanhood synonymous with makeup? Because we talk all the time about gender roles, right? And we often talk about how bad they are, or how detrimental they can be, that they put people in a box.
Yeah.
But then we also constantly try to define the box by saying womanhood includes makeup.
Yes.
Or womanhood includes wearing dresses or whatever. I'm just confused by the messaging. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing. Maybe I'll probably admit I'm pretty ignorant on this topic. But you know, when this whole idea of transitioning and then acting like I'm living as a gender that I feel I am, all right, or I believe in myself, right? What does that mean to live like a woman? I suppose. Does that mean that somehow that person's trans, from what I understood? And so I just don't understand. Like, how do you say, like, all right, I am, and part of being a woman means wearing makeup. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking the question. I don't know.
Women are oppressed by today's beauty standards.
It preys, or it being the beauty industry and the cosmetic industry, preys on the insecurities that women and men as well feel, for example, with aging. Wear this foundation, use these eye creams, do this, that, and the other things, so that way you don't look like you're aging. And I think that the aging process is a beautiful thing, and it should be celebrated, and it just shows like all of the life that you've lived. And
I think the sole fact that there is a beauty standard in general is just so damaging, because I just see beauty in a lot of people. There shouldn't be a standard for your natural self that you are.
What do you think about the question? What would your answer be?
Oh yeah, women are oppressed by beauty standards. Yes, they are.
Go on.
Certain women are going to lose their job just because of the way they look. They're going to lose their job because they are aging. If you're working TV or entertainment, you got, there's a standard. They're going to replace you because of your looks. They're going to be, if you take a news anchor, or if you take a sports anchor, whatever, if you take a male, he's going to be judged on some things, but the woman is going to be judged on their looks and stuff like that. Yeah, there can be oppression about that. It can set a barrier.
I think oppressed is such a strong word, because we but here's what I would say. If there's a privilege, then there's a form of oppression. There's beauty privilege.
Yeah.
This is not my opinion. This is not his opinion. This is like quantifiable. Like sociologists have already confirmed it.
Yeah.
The more attractive you are, the more privileges that you have in life.
That's a fact.
Better access to jobs, better access to finance, mates, all that good stuff, right? So by virtue, if they're getting something just on that virtue alone, then the people who are not, sure. Would I use the word oppression? No, but there's definitely disadvantages, and so as a result, I definitely think that it's an issue. And when it comes to women, I think it becomes even more so, because of the fact that looks for women matter even more than they do for men. They just do. In every facet of life, dating, work, all that good stuff. And the truth is, a lot of us are going to be born and dealt a shitty hand in that regards.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think beauty standards are oppressive, but I think sometimes they're unobtainable. So for example, like I've always struggled with acne scars, and I was like looking on social media and everybody's skin looks like so even and so clear. But then I learned that there are a lot of filters that will actually do that. Like I only discovered this 2 months ago, and then I used one and I was like, wait, now I look like everybody else. And I thought everybody just had like beautiful poreless skin, and I was the only one left out.
when you guys will post like your makeup look, do you guys use filters on them?
I've always been open with all my followers that I edit my pictures and Facetune them, just because it just gives them that extra like feeling to the picture, but not like enhance like nose or eyes or anything like that.
That's the same thing. I smooth the texture. Unless you see me in person, honey, you're not gonna see these scars or this texture or anything like that. I'm gonna filter it out.
I used to be, had low self-esteem, so I was really crazy with like, the photoshopping and everything. And as I grew into myself, I just grew to love. But as far as filtering like my makeup looks or whatever, there's always going to be a little smooth here and there. Yeah. A woman's hair is full of secrets.
Yeah.
Smoothing. It does something.
I always need a little smooth here.
Yeah. I guess the reason why I asked that question is because in a lot of like makeup ads, they'll do the makeup look and then change the makeup look in Photoshop. But it just seems like it sets unrealistic expectations, A, for the product, and B, what it's gonna make you look like.
I just maybe I'm missing it. I just don't get the whole like love yourself naturally and then do all these enhancements and modifications to your face. Like it's fine if your self-esteem and your sense of confidence comes from the fact that you don't look like how you look when you're home by yourself and just chilling. Like I don't know. To me, that just seems like such a poor basis. It's such a poor basis for self-esteem.
I got a hard time
get
whenever
it.
you say you play on words. No, I grew into myself. I that's my true self. There's a lot of people out there that are like, yeah, love yourself, love your body, be yourself. And then you went through all these enhancement, and I ain't got no problem with enhancement. I don't give a shit. But when you do the enhancement and then you claim that's your natural and you claim that that's you, it's not. It's just not. And that's you being part of the problem. But whatever. I digress.
Again, I just don't understand the whole like now I love myself now that I fixed my nose or whatever. It's just like okay, just the very idea that you're shelling out money to reach this like standard of beauty or get closer to it to make yourself feel more comfortable in your own body is by definition you not loving who you are and needing to change it. But that's me.
Since I am like all over social media and like TV and stuff, when people expect me to show up and show face, they expect to glam and they expect the makeup. And if I do show up without any of that, it's just like no one, it's like, where's the star? Where's the star power? Where's La Demi, you know?
Your makeup look, do you guys use filters on them?
I've always been open with all my followers that I edit my pictures and Facetune them.
Smooth the texture. Unless you see me in person, honey, you're not gonna see these scars or this texture or anything like that. I'm gonna filter it out.
Like a superpower, I always say makeup, because when I'm in makeup, I just feel like I have a cape on and I can do anything.
When I have makeup, I just feel like I could conquer like the whole world. And
There is no harm in children using makeup.
Wow. Yeah. Press play. Oh, wow.
If it's harmful for, unless there's some kind of health effect that I'm unaware, if you're staying back, that means you don't think, if you're staying back, that means you think there's something wrong for kids.
There's no harm. When you go up, you agree. Okay, there's no,
So everyone's staying back, you're saying there is harm. Which is interesting. Like, well, if there's harm for kids, why wouldn't there be harm for adults?
I don't think it works like that.
Why not?
I don't think it works like
Why
that.
not?
Because there might be harm, but the harm is. I believe that if the kid's using makeup, there is definitely more harm than whenever they're
Why?
Because of the setting, because of the possibility. There's more possibilities that the kids have harm than adults. How it affects your perception, that you go into this mind where you just think that you just need it.
If you're talking about looking at yourself and self-esteem issues, if you're saying it can be harmful to kids, then why wouldn't it be harmful to adults? True. It's them applying it to themselves at the degree that they want.
No, but you know, porn is good for adults, not for kids. It doesn't mean that it would harm adults. I'm going in your direction right now, because even it's not good for kids, but it can harm. The same way porn can. The same way I get what you're saying, because someone would say like, yeah, but good for adults, but whatever. Yeah. But it can harm adults the same way.
I want to hear how they think it's going to be harmful.
Yeah.
Be sure to leave a like, a comment. You know, YouTube's not always fond of us, so it helps out the algorithm. And that's pretty much it.
They're really not. They're not.
So the way that I interpreted this question was children doing their own makeup, not having it done by someone older or someone who's more experienced with it. I think that makeup within itself is a self-expression, and I feel that if a young boy or a young girl is drawn to that, then it should be supported and treated with like love and kindness and acceptance. I think it's totally fine.
If a kid has conscious parents, maybe conscious friends, mentors, teachers around them, and they're just playing with makeup and their intent is not simply to please others, I think it's completely fine. I've just noticed that doesn't tend to happen a lot of times in society.
Literally everybody adult who came up here said they do it on social media. They touch up their photos because they are doing it for the world. They're not doing it for themselves. So if you think that is a harmful thing, then it's also harmful to the adults. Why would it be just harmful to the kids?
You got a point there.
I don't really have a strong opinion on this specific topic. I'm just thinking about the logical consistency of the first stance and this one right here. If you're saying, oh no, kids can't handle it, what is it that they can't handle? You're saying there's nothing wrong with makeup. That's what I don't understand.
But it could affect adults the same way it affects kids.
I just want to hear how it affects the kids. I don't understand.
I wouldn't want my little sister wearing makeup so young because I wouldn't want her to attract the wrong attention.
Isn't that considered victim blaming?
Don't go there.
I'm not even trying to joke. They didn't really demonstrate to me how putting on makeup as a kid is very drastically different than putting on makeup as an adult. If you feel like it's harmful for adults or not harmful, then it should be fine for the kids. If you allow them to rock around in these booty shorts and, you know, showing a bit of cleavage and doing all this other stuff, right? And they do that. I go to dance competitions. I'll be seeing it sometimes. I'm like, whoo. And I'm not saying I want these things to happen. My whole point is I don't understand why there's like a random lingerie and a hair for makeup, but then the clothing can be whatever it wants. That's the weird part for me.
The clothing is really the clothing when they dance. They're not, when they wear the makeup, they wear the makeup more than when they dance. You know what I mean? They limit to the dancing. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that there's a correlation between, I think that's how they think, there's a correlation between sex and makeup, so you don't want kids to be sexualized like that. It's not everybody that's okay with the kids dancing.
But you said it's just when they dance. That's not true. Motherfuckers are wearing booty shorts everywhere. What are you talking about? They're wearing the Lululemon yoga pants everywhere.
Who? Kids?
Kids, young teenagers, yes.
No, but they don't fit the same way that the Lululemon fits. It's not. I don't think it's the same thing. You're not gonna walk off the street with a puni printer.
Whoa.
Maybe I haven't seen what I've seen, but I've seen that setting in a setting of dancing, but not booty shorts or whatever.
Of course, yes. Young girls today are far more in terms of their wardrobe. 100%. It's a complaint that people have every day. They always talk about how young kids today are dressing like crazy. C'est pas une question de juste à des événements.
Okay.
It's not just a special thing. You guys can leave comments below if I'm wrong, but you see it everywhere. Even the movie Cuties kind of showed that when these girls, not just at their competition, but when they're walking around, they were wearing these clothes. You don't remember that in the movie?
Yeah, but I remember that from back then too.
What you mean?
Those kids was kids that was. It's not.
But you said it's only at the competitions. My
No,
whole
what I
point
mean-
is them
okay,
wearing
okay,
sexual
okay.
clothes is not just at the competition.
No,
Ça, c'est pas vrai.
But the thing that happened is that you try to limit that, and then with the makeup on top of that, you're adding a layer, which is you're just adding a layer on top of it.
Okay, let's say I agree with you. Okay?
Which you don't.
Let's say I agree with you. Let's say it is. Does that mean that when all adult women are wearing it, they're trying to sexualize themselves?
There's a correlation. So to me, whenever you wear makeup, you try to look better, and looking better, there's a correlation with sexuality than when you wear makeup. It is.
All right. Well, listen, I'm not going to deny the idea that
The colors of the makeup and everything is really just like emulating the mating of animals and stuff like that. You know what I mean? When they have more colors to attract the other. You're trying to attract. There's an attraction thing. So there's a correlation, definitely.
Okay, so I'm not going to deny the scientific link between certain forms of makeup and like the effect on, you know, the sexual marketplace. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to get at, and I think the initial point is, these are arbitrary lines that we're drawing in regards to saying like makeup is somehow harmful because of this or that. And then there's also the whole like, oh, I don't want these dudes to be attracted to you. Well, will we say that to adults? Will we say that to young teenagers? Is that the message that we want to send? And I'm not saying that I want these things to happen or I want them to become a trend or a norm. I don't think it's a good thing.
No, but I see your point there.
But I do think that these lines are arbitrary and they don't make much sense. I also don't think they understand how harmful that messaging is, because what you internalize in them as young teens, also they're going to keep on with themselves later on. If you tell them you need to make yourself smaller so people, well, that's the same message they're going to have an adult. Are you going to have that same attitude then? I question that. So that's just one thing.
Makeup has changed how I'm treated by people.
Pre-COVID days, I love to go out to dance and stuff, to go to the club. Just men tend to just give me a lot more attention when I'm wearing makeup. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, if you came out with double D's instead of A cups, that'll probably give you more attention. It's kind of how it functions. We all know what's happening.
And I swear, when I'm not wearing it, not a peep comes, no one comes my way. I think I like the latter. I like no one coming up to me.
Since I am like all over social media and like TV and stuff, when people expect me to show up and show face, they expect to glam and they expect the makeup. And if I do show up without any of that, it's just like no one, it's like, where's the star? Where's the star power? Where's La Demi, you know?
I kind of feel the same way on social media. All I have on is makeup, and then on my normal days, I'm like just a regular boy. So when I go to like Sephora or makeup shopping, they're just like, oh, is he gonna steal something? Because you know, that's what they mostly think of when you're not like in full glam or you look bummy. Oh, he's gonna steal something because he's looking suspicious, looking at.
Because you just look dark skinned if you don't have your makeup. When you do have your makeup, you dark skinned but flamboyant. I was like, oh, okay, that's why.
So are you saying that the makeup helps them get away from oppression?
Yeah, I said exactly that.
So I've definitely gone into interviews or like heard my employer talk about people, and it's not that they'll say like, oh, she wasn't wearing makeup. They'll say like, she didn't seem as ready, or like she wasn't as put together. I used to only wear makeup pretty much for interviews or if I was on camera. I didn't want to give them a reason to not hire me.
Smart lady.
Yeah.
She's right.
Yeah.
You know, listen, I'm not going to tell somebody not to wear makeup or to not do to do whatever you want. Me
But if you
personally,
know the game,
But yeah, but she's right. It's like, I'm not going to be mad at you because you used it to get a job, because I understand that's the way the world is built
She
and it's
know the game.
unfair. Right? I don't like wearing suit and ties, but when I needed to work at JP Morgan Chase, I wore what I needed to wear.
there you go.
Got to do what you got to do. So smart girl.
Like a superpower, I always say makeup, because when I'm in makeup, I just feel like I have a cape on and I can do anything. And without it, it kind of humbles me down to maybe not be that person in the room to ask a question, or it's kind of like my backup dancer.
Yeah.
So you only feel comfortable being out. This person's also trans, so there's probably a heightened difference. Because of the fact that,
levels to
like,
this shit.
if people can really tell that you're trans, maybe they treat the person differently. And they just want
Definitely.
it. So maybe that's like comes into it. So maybe I'm just kind of blind to that. So
like,
yeah,
there's more levels to what she's saying than
because hers not
than a
even.
cis woman
Yeah.
will go about and just not wear makeup. There's
That's
more
right.
levels to her shit. So
That's right.
to a reality, so I can understand that. But I'm glad that you pointed out.
Yeah, I agree with Latemi. When I have makeup, I just feel like I could conquer like the whole world, and I'm just like that person that can do anything. That's like the main reason why I go into makeup, because it just makes you feel good.
Don't you feel like short guys wish there was makeup to make them taller, so they could just feel that way sometimes when they go out? You imagine if you were 5'6" and you get to put on some makeup that made you 6'2", and you get to just walk around like,
It's
I
a
can
good-
conquer the world. I know what it feels like to be a tall man.
Because at least, I mean, there's nothing you could do with your weight, and
Yeah.
unless you just put high heels and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
platforms, stuff like that. But at least if you're short, you just
Yeah,
put everything that you
Yeah.
put on your side.
Yeah.
So if you flawless,
Right.
you still got good genes. You look like you got good
Right,
genes.
right.
Because that, at the end of the day, that's what makeup is.
Right.
Looking like you got them good genes.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So instead of like makeup for short people, it'd be like leg up. Instead of makeup. Just something that like whoo. Like lifts in the shoes or something. Something that looks natural though. Like it looks like they got long legs. You know what I'm saying? Right, guys. Would you if you were 5'6", right, 5'7", and somebody offered you a product called Leg Up, okay? So it was societally accepted. We wouldn't look at you like you're an idiot, okay? And you walked around like you were 6'2",
They do it.
ready to play the NBA.
They do
Would
it.
you do it
They
to
do
go
it.
outside?
They do it. They do it. Knock it out. That's what kind of question is this?
Yeah.
Oh, of course they do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And imagine the girl's like, what's your shoe size? Size 8 US. They got small feet.
But you're 6'5". Yeah. Kind of tip over when I walk.
I'm rocking leg ups. Like, why? Bitch, we're rocking makeup. Shut up. I just
Size 8 shoes.
Hey, man, listen, that's a good product. If somebody can make leg ups for short men,
They do have a surgery though that stretches your legs.
oh, that's dangerous.
Yes, it is. Very.
I have felt uncomfortable leaving home without makeup.
When I started to wear makeup and I was, being perceived to the public as a woman, without it, I wasn't, So it was like really hard to adjust to even leaving my house without a lash, without an eyebrow, without some kind of lip gloss or blush or something to give me that touch to feel like, I'm not going to get misgendered out there in the world. I am trans. And I definitely know what it feels like to not be able to leave the house without something.
Like one of them cis girls that leave without makeup is just, she's not gonna feel, let's say, that she's gonna look good or whatever. If she doesn't wear makeup, she doesn't feel like she doesn't feel
Well, she doesn't get treated.
treated.
Right,
Which-
right. So
which-
when she's out there and she doesn't fully present as a woman in terms of the whole makeup and all that stuff, that's her definition of it.
Yeah.
She doesn't get treated as such. And I mean,
I
whether
understand.
she wears makeup or not, to me it's kind of clear that this person's trans, but I just wouldn't treat them differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that she gets misgendered.
Because I just felt like I trusted her. I just knew that I could trust her.
So funny to bounce off of that. I went through a phase 2 where I would spend the night with a guy and I would not take off my makeup. I would sleep with my makeup, and even 10 minutes before waking up, I would run back to the restroom, touch up, put on a lip stain, so I would wake up
Like it was,
I used to, before we were boyfriend and girlfriend, I used to sleep in my makeup and be makeup all over this dude's pillows. So on Valentine's Day, he
Jeez,
asked me to be
thanks,
his
girl.
girlfriend.
Thanks a lot, ruining my shit.
I think the only time I used to regularly wear makeup is like if I thought I'd see my ex or something like that. But also when I was going on a lot of first dates before I met my girlfriend, I would like, it would pretty much be the only time I'd wear makeup. Like I wouldn't wear it to work and I would come home and put it on. But then I started to realize like these people, like if it goes further, they're going to see me without makeup, and I'd almost rather have them know that up front. And actually the first date I went on with my girlfriend was like one of the first dates I didn't wear makeup.
Yeah, that's interesting. Sometimes I'll be like going out with girls. Sometimes we'll be talking beforehand. Like maybe like we'll FaceTime once or twice. And sometimes, no, I can't FaceTime. I don't want my makeup. But I'm like, listen, if we're going to date seriously, I'm going to see you without makeup. It's like,
It's gonna
I already
happen.
think you're attractive. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But, you know, for some guys, maybe they would go like, ew, you don't. So maybe that's why they feel uncomfortable part of it. But I'm like, yeah, just if someone's going to leave you because you don't look at your best without makeup, then they're probably not going to be that into you to begin with. But that's just my thoughts.
Straight up.
And the last thing I would say is like, yo, listen, as far as this video goes, I have no issue with anything. I don't have any issue with any of the contestants. I thought they were great. They were wonderful.
Yeah.
And I thought the casting, the questions were very pertinent. So good job to Jubilee for that. But I think it does raise some interesting questions. And I think they weren't fully being honest with, maybe they're not with themselves either, with what the implications are when they put on makeup. Because their messaging didn't make sense based off of like the ideas that they were espousing. So that was the confusing part for me. If you're saying, okay, I love myself and this helps me be myself, then why wouldn't you allow that for young teenagers? That's what you said it does for you.
You're fully growing into yourself.
Yeah, she said she needed that to be comfortable with herself, but then you wouldn't offer that to young teenagers because it might be the same case for young women. I don't agree with it, but that's what you said, right? So that's why I kind of had some issues with it. But otherwise, I thought it was cool. It was like insightful, and I got to learn some things. So
But whenever they say those things, where they're in these discussions, there's nobody that chime in like that. They chime in, or maybe it was edited out. I don't know. But yeah, no, I see what you're saying and your points with that. The consistency and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I could definitely see it where I'm like, but it's not what I think. It's really what you said, and it's really what they said. So if you allow yourself to grow into your full self, then I see what I.
Yeah, it was just those
At
confusing
first,
parts.
I didn't get it, and the more I was thinking about it, I was trying to explain it to you. I was like,
Yeah, that's always been my issue with the whole like a bit of the body positivity movement or some of the, like this like no judgment, stuff like that. So I'm like, what do you mean? Or even when they talked about like I do makeup for myself. I don't make these alterations for anybody else. So I'm like, huh? You literally started the video by saying you made alterations to your Instagram pictures because that's what people needed. That when you went out, they were expecting you to look some kind of way. They're expecting pop and glam. So you had to present a certain. So that is you doing it for others.
whenever you have a rhetoric like that, you don't hear your message.
Yeah.
You don't hear yourself saying it. So
Yeah.
you contradict yourself and you without even knowing it.
Yeah.
So
I generally don't. I'm not a big fan of when people say stuff like, I'm doing it for myself. And we all know most of the time that's not true. And it's okay. It's okay to do things for others because you want to be accepted and liked. That's fine. But let's stop lying about what it is. It's like, I don't understand that. But that's just me personally.
No, but
so those are my thoughts. You have any other thoughts?
no, but it makes sense. What you're saying makes sense.
Yeah. What do you guys think in the comments below? We want to hear your thoughts. Do you guys agree, disagree?
A não ser a vontade de te encontrar, o motivo já ninguém